So for this video, I wanted to take a few minutes to cover two interesting topics. One very interesting one, which is the August event taking place rumored for early next month, and what could be shown there, which could be a big blow to Microsoft. And I only say this because I personally believe they could have delivered a better showcase this week. But the other topic is also from the same source, but his discussion on this spec bump possibly coming to the PlayStation 5, which is surprising to me personally. First, let me know and be as non-biased as you can here. Does power mean anything anymore after what we've seen from Microsoft and Sony? Sony's console is meant to be the weaker of the two, but is seemingly going to deliver better overall graphics in games from what I'm seeing, but that's just my opinion. So comment below if this power talk matters to you anymore. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, this PS5 spec bump. Now, we've known this whole discussion between the PS5 and Xbox Series X, this whole debate of teraflop numbers and SSD speeds, but what this recent Microsoft event should remind people is the games are all that matter. But this new piece of information from YouTuber Moore's Law is Dead is something pretty surprising, and that the PS5 is actually getting a spec bump, and his reasoning for this is that Sony doesn't want to make a PlayStation 5 Pro, which we've discussed before that a PS5 Pro might not be a thing. But the basic gist of what he said is this.
Do not be surprised if it turns out that, it has faster memory and 2 extra compute units and a faster clock processor when they do the final reveal, where I assume they'll open up pre-orders this August, which is, almost this month already.
So the PS5 could be rocking faster memory, 2 more CU units, moving it from 36 units to 38, and a faster clocked processor, which currently sits at 3.5 gigahertz. Maybe it'll be closer to the Series X, which currently sits at 3.8 gigahertz. As I am not a developer working on games, I do not know the full impact of this, but I would assume with these bumps, this will provide game developers with more leg room to produce higher quality games, so it's a positive in the end. I wonder if we'll hear about this spec bump at the teardown session for the PlayStation 5, whenever that is, probably August, of course, but when, I'm not sure. Considering we have the state of play possibly in early August, according to rumors, maybe mid-August for the teardown and later August for pre-orders and price. We'll see. You guys let me know if a spec bump matters to you or not. Considering we saw the game Sony intends to bring, do these little spec bumps matter to you? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the second story of the video, also from Moore's Law is Dead, 2 big reveals coming probably in the August state of play. One of them was pretty surprising for me to hear about, and that is God of War. Now, for me personally, I don't feel Sony needs to bring another God of War so soon, but I'm not going to say no, obviously, to a God of War reveal. Who would? But his description of it is really exciting. Outside of the fact that the game franchise itself is already amazing, people also should remember that Cory Barlog, director behind God of War, has gone on interviews in the past stating that he wants to produce more God of War games more frequently. They have the engine and the basis. He doesn't want to wait 5 years, 6 years before another God of War releases, so hearing God of War is not far off is not as surprising, but obviously very welcomed. In terms of what YouTuber Moore's Law is Dead stated, he revealed he only brought this information out because the same source that provided him with this God of War information and the other reveal, which we'll talk about in a second, is that the same source also predicted accurate information for the Microsoft event yesterday, so he felt comfortable enough coming out with this information, but I'll let him talk about it and then we'll discuss.
The first one, and this is a bombshell, I believe, is a new God of War. The sequel will be showed off supposedly in under a month. This is a well-guarded secret, and it's supposedly going to have, I'm just quoting him, jaw-dropping graphics that will approach photorealism. That they want to showcase this as, see, PlayStation brings you next-gen graphics. It's coming fall 2021. That's right, not this year. This isn't a launch game next to Spider-Man and Gran Turismo. No.
So, jaw-dropping graphics approaching realism. I kind of feel Sony is bullying Xbox at this point, considering what we saw with Halo Infinite. Now, I am going to get Halo Infinite, but they clearly need to work on it. I would be happier if they just delayed it and brought out a better launch experience sometime next year, but let's see how that goes. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and see how it goes later this year. But in terms of God of War, I really feel Sony already did damage with the June reveal in comparison to Microsoft, and they already have great games coming to the platform. But if they drop a God of War teaser at the August event, that's a game changer for a lot of people. And hitting them with photorealistic graphics or near photorealistic graphics is a direct punch in the gut of this power narrative between both consoles. And add to that, it's not far off. Moore's Law is Dead said God of War is going to release in fall 2021, which is obviously next year, which lights up the future for the PlayStation 5 even more so for a lot of people. So God of War is one. What about the other game, which he says is a launch title coming later this year? Here's what he said.
But there is another launch game, supposedly, and this has been much rumored that there is some other launch exclusive that Sony's holding out on revealing. An incredibly guarded secret. And unfortunately, I cannot tell you what it is. I can't. I was told that if I told you by one of these other sources that it would reveal too much. So here's what I'm going to say. It is a revival of a mainstay of PlayStation, one that used to be a bigger tentpole franchise, and Mark Cerny's working on it.
So this special launch exclusive is what has me shaking here a bit as to what it could be. Now, I did think of SOCOM and I did think of Killzone, which one of them is possibly being worked at Guerrilla Games as their second title since they hired ex-Rainbow Six Siege and SOCOM developers. That's one, but let's go over exactly what he said. He said, it is a revival of a mainstay of PlayStation, one that used to be a bigger tentpole franchise, and Mark Cerny is working on it. Now, the key part for me here is Mark Cerny is working on it. If you look at Mark Cerny's history of projects in terms of what he's been a part of or led, we have Knack 1, 2, Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot. So there's a clear pattern for the types of games he works on. He probably won't be working on a mainline shooter, even though SOCOM is a big PlayStation game, a big PlayStation franchise that hasn't seen the sun in over a generation. But let's look at this list. Knack is recent. Ratchet & Clank is well and alive. We have another one coming. Spyro is not a first IP, but still alive. Crash Bandicoot, not a first IP, but still alive. And even Sly Cooper. Last time we got a game was 2013, so it's more recent than the one I'm going to talk about, which is Jak and Daxter. So this is where I get a bit shook, because could it be, and I say could it be a reboot for one of my favorite franchises of all time, Jak and Daxter? For people who don't know, Jak 3 back in the PS2 era was probably the first game I ever fully 100%ed before trophies existed, so I did it purely for the love of the game. For me personally, this ticks the boxes more so than a new SOCOM game if Mark Cerny is involved. And I'm not saying a new SOCOM game is not going to happen. It could very well happen. I'm just saying the Mark Cerny part is the part where I don't think it's SOCOM, and I think it's something else more closely related to these platformers. And taking what he's worked on in the past, like I just said, what Moore's Law is Dead stated in his video, and the legacy franchise it could be, Jak makes a lot of sense to me personally. Obviously, this is just a rumor for now, but this has me really, really hyped. And for me, if I was an Xbox fanboy, and I'm just talking for myself, this game would easily make me get a PlayStation 5 on launch day. But again, it's just a rumor for now. But you guys let me know if you think Jak and Daxter, it's Jak and Daxter or SOCOM or a new Killzone game or some other title he's referring to as a launch title for the PlayStation 5 that's a legacy game. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, or this video's thing, because I released another video early this morning, so go check that out. But this video's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with, please bring back Jak. For a lot of people who haven't played Jak and Daxter, give it a chance. Play the original franchise. You'll love it. And for people who have, you guys know how I feel. So destroy the comment section with please bring back Jack, and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.